Now it's time for our highlight of tonight's event. Let's welcome Mr. Giuseppe Izzo, the chairman of the European Chamber of Commerce Taiwan, to give us the address. Let's welcome him.
Your Excellency, President Tsai Ing-wen, Mr. Grzegorzewski, honored guests, friends, buonasera a tutti. Good evening. Taiwan. After staying inside for so long during the coronavirus pandemic, many of us are suffering from cabin fever. This summer, many people went revenge shopping or took revenge holidays. Tonight, please enjoy some revenge eating and drinking. Madam President, this year's Europe Day dinner celebrates 70 years since the Schuman Declaration, which paved the way for the creation of today's European Union. From a devastated and war-ravaged continent in 1950, the EU has developed into the world's largest single market economy and open society, with high quality of life and standards for healthcare, for the environment, food safety, and consumer protections. Taiwan is one of the many countries that has benefited from and in parallel with Europe's success. Bilateral trade and investment has continued to rise steadily over the past 30 years. Europeans have invested over 50 billion euros, or 58 billion US dollars, in Taiwan, more than any other foreign investors, creating thousands of jobs both in Taiwan and in Europe. Taiwanese enjoy high-quality goods and services from Europe, while Taiwanese companies have access to the world's largest market. All of these has helped to create great wealth and prosperity in Taiwan. Taiwan and Europe are like old lovers. Zai Taiwan tamen shuo, xiang ji le hai xing. Wo shuo xiang de bu de liao ai jing. Madam President, we owe you and your government an enormous debt of gratitude. Thanks to your enlightened leadership and rapid, proactive and pragmatic actions, Taiwan has avoided the worst impact of the coronavirus pandemic. While much of the world remains paralyzed by the pandemic, Taiwan has demonstrated how to safeguard the health and safety of residents with minimal disruptions to the economy. Schools, universities, shops, offices and factories have remained open, and we would not be sitting here today in a room full of 700 guests were it not for your government's outstanding performance. So, Madam President, on behalf of the ECCT, thank you. Thank you very much. But despite your superb efforts, the battle is not over. No one knows how long the pandemic will last. And even if we find vaccines and treatments for COVID-19, we have to prepare for other potential future pandemics. All of us in business and government have a responsibility and a part to play in building a more resilient economy and society. The first lesson of the pandemic is that a well-run and comprehensive universal healthcare system is essential, and Taiwan is one of the best in the world. In particular, Taiwan's healthcare officials and medical personnel have performed extremely well under very challenging conditions. But Taiwan's national healthcare system is facing rising challenges from an aging population and an increase in chronic diseases. Taiwan's healthcare expenditure of around 6% of the GDP is far below the 9% of average of the OECD countries. The lack of resources often means that patients do not get access to advanced healthcare solutions that are being introduced in other countries. To improve the resilience of the healthcare system, we urge additional investments in disease prevention, treatments, and other preparations for possible future pandemics. The private sector can play a valuable role not only in providing medicines and devices, but also in offering research and medical services. We therefore also recommend more flexible business models to increase private sector involvement in healthcare. Madam President, the pandemic has shown that disease does not respect borders or political sensitivities. Now more than ever, Taiwan has valuable lessons to offer the world in all aspects of healthcare and should be given the chance to do so. We therefore continue to urge Taiwan's meaningful participation in the World Health Organization. The pandemic has also demonstrated the urgent need to build resilience in global supply chains. Taiwan is already a global leader in several industry sectors, including semiconductors and associated machinery. This crisis also offers a great opportunity to help international companies diversify and strengthen their supply chains by investing in Taiwan. Taiwan's maintenance of an open, democratic society, commitment to the rule of law, and dynamic economy and financial incentives have attracted the interest of numerous international as well as returning Taiwanese investors. But the post-COVID-19 economy and supply chain realignment will all rely on more than capital. Taiwan needs to continue to support and follow international standards and best practices if it is to attract the best international companies. This will be helped by the government's ongoing efforts to create a bilingual nation and the promotion of English fluency in education, government, and the private sector. The world is racing on innovation. However, to drive innovation will now require talented individuals and dynamic companies that cultivate and support talent. More could be done to attract a more diverse range of foreign talent, such as simplifying current recruitment incentive programs and immigration regulations. In addition, there remain instances of unequal treatment of foreign residents. Recent examples include foreign residents not being able to send masks to their families in Europe when this was allowed for Taiwanese residents. Foreign residents have also been excluded from the voucher stimulus program, even though they pay the same tax rates as citizens. Many talented people from multiple industries want to come and live and work in Taiwan. We should make them feel at home by simplifying procedures and ending all forms of unequal treatment. Taiwan not only needs to attract foreign talent, but also retain talent. Fostering talent at home, of course, begins with education. But local talent development is being hampered by outdated labor laws from a bygone industrial era. COVID-19 has shown that many job functions can be performed remotely and employees can be relied upon to meet their job requirements without constant supervision. To foster an environment for building a resilient and dynamic workforce, Taiwan's labor laws need reforms that take into account the complexities of both modern workplaces and remote working. While the origins of COVID-19 are still uncertain, what is not disputed is that human activities, such as the destruction of forests and wetlands, the trading of wild animals and factory farms, create ideal conditions for pathogens to jump from animals to humans. We need to rethink our relations with nature, from the one of arrogance that we can control nature purely for our own benefit, for the benefit of humans. Instead, we need to preserve what is left of the natural world and live in symbiosis with nature. Our future survival depends on this. It may already be too late to prevent climate change, but actions we take in the next few years could help to limit the damage. First, we need to speed the decarbonization and work towards creating a completely circular economy. Madam President, we really welcome your government's support of an energy transition. Green energy represents a huge opportunity for Taiwan to provide energy security, reduce pollution, and create a whole new high-value industry in the country. But micromanaging the process risks derailing local industry development. For this reason, we urge your government to allow the local industry to develop organically and ensure that local content requirements are flexible and adaptable to changing industry trends and standards. Along with green energy, further electrification of the transport and industrial sectors will reduce Taiwan's carbon emissions. A successful energy transition will require a roadmap with annual targets for a nationwide electric vehicle charging systems that is aligned with international standards. In addition, technologies such as hybrids, fuel cells, and renewable synthetic fuels have a significant potential. And to compensate for wind and solar fluctuations, smart grids and grid balancing technologies using hydrogen, liquid air, or battery storage systems are also necessary. We recommend, therefore, providing government support for all energy transition technologies and solutions in the next phase of the forward-looking infrastructure development plan. In terms of finance, ECCT members support the government's ambition to establish Taiwan as the #1 center in Asia for capital movement and wealth management. To achieve this goal, we urge the government to further liberalize financial markets and advocate impact investments that stress better environmental, social, and governance standards, in line with the best global practices. Madam President, Taiwan has built a strong foundation to protect the health and livelihoods of its people. But Taiwan's future prosperity depends on strengthening resilience at home while maintaining strong links with the world. Europeans and European businesses have played a crucial role in Taiwan's development and have the potential to help build additional resilience in a post-COVID-19 world. But we can achieve so much more if we work together. Therefore, let us help each other to build a cleaner, greener, and more resilient economy and society for the next 70 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Izzo, for this wonderful words and the encouragement. Thank you. Please be seated. Now we would like to welcome our next speaker, Mr. Filip Giuseppe. I hope this is okay. Head of the European Economic and Trade Office in Taipei. Let's give him the biggest round of applause.
蔡总统，欧洲在台商务协会民众理事长，欧洲代表处的同事们，各位先生、各位女士，大家好。I will continue in English. Although I'm here on the stage in an excellent company of two Taiwanese, President Tsai and President Izzo, who happens to be Taiwanese as well, I'll allow myself to continue in English. It is my great honor to be here tonight. This is my first Europe Day dinner, and I'm proud to see so many companies from Europe gathered together. The European flags and the pictures from Europe, logos of the European companies in this room are a proud symbol of a Europe which is united in diversity, a Europe that shares common interests and values, and a global Europe that works together to make this world better and fairer. Well, we live in interesting times. 2020 has been quite eventful. COVID-19, trade war, climate change, a clash of civilizations, to name just a few. Only by working together, by finding compromises without compromising what we stand for, and by respecting international rules and principles, can we solve the problems of our times and mitigate the risks for the future. Well, before I address some of the issues that are important for Europe and for Taiwan, let me take this opportunity to thank you, Madam President, and your government for successfully containing the coronavirus in Taiwan. This has been a remarkable achievement. Thank you. Taiwan has been a first mover in shutting its borders. Taiwan now needs to avoid becoming the last mover in opening up again. The world is not standing still, and business will not wait for Taiwan. Industries such as airlines, hotels, retail, etc. have all taken serious hits by the virus. Taiwan must avoid becoming a victim of its own success. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation for the excellent cooperation between the ECCT and my office. We share the same ambition of promoting European interests in Taiwan. We often taste the same bitters and sweets. Thank you, Chairman Giuseppe Izzo, CEO Freddy Hoglund, the ECCT staff, the committee co-chairs and all the member companies for the outstanding cooperation throughout the year. The ECCT is European Union's biggest asset in Taiwan. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, globalization is under siege. There is a rise of unilateralism, protectionism, and nationalism. In some cases, we see economic coercions, tensions among the major global economies dominate the headlines. Supply chains are being restructured. There is also an urgent call to transit into a climate-neutral and sustainable world. The COVID-19 crisis has further magnified these difficulties. But there is good news. And my job as the EU representative is to bring you this good news. The EU, the European Union, is responding. In February, we adopted the digital package, which will make Europe fit for the digital age. The European Green Deal and the recovery package of 750 billion euro, adopted in July, will make sure that we not only come out of the economic crisis faster, but also better. I can't tell you how much 750 billion euro is in Taiwan dollars. I know that President Tsai is a lawyer and also an able linguist, but we need an economist, a financial expert to translate this number. I know that it's huge. But the idea is to use this money well and wisely and make the recovery also better for the world. So Europe is discussing its future trade policy now. One of the key aspects after COVID-19 will be to make our supply chains more resilient, in particular in strategically important sectors, while staying an open and innovative economy. This also means building stronger alliances with like-minded partners. And Taiwan, by all means, is one of the most like-minded partners we have. Cooperative and multilateral response is urgently needed. And, luckily, multilateralism is the EU's principal choice. We are a master of multilateralism. In fact, the European Union as such is the ultimate proof that multilateralism works, so we cannot forget about it. While the sea gets rougher, the European Union stands firmly on its belief, and I would assure you that the European Union is and will be a responsible team player, as well as a stable and reliable partner. Madam President, the world might be having a flu, but the EU and Taiwan's trade and economic relations are in good health. In 2019, Taiwan was the European Union's 15th biggest trading partner worldwide. Meanwhile, the European Union has remained the largest investor in Taiwan. Despite the coronavirus now, thanks to Zoom, thanks to WebEx, we continue to strengthen our ties. It's not the same, but we somehow manage. Let me mention just one event, which is right around the corner. The European Union Investment Forum on the 22nd of September, co-organized by my office together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Economic Affairs, and the 15 EU member states' offices in Taiwan. We will present the investment environment and opportunities that are waiting for the Taiwanese investors in the European Union. Taiwanese investors will also share their successful experience in having invested in Europe. The Investment Forum will be an iconic event, I hope, a starting point and a building block for our long-term collaboration and for welcoming more Taiwanese investments into the European Union. So let's see each other there, 22nd of September. That was an advertisement break. Why? Because if we play our hand well, we can diversify our risk, discover new markets, and build trustful supply chains. And this is what we all need now. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam President, we are in it together, so we need to look for solutions together as well. And while openness is at the heart of the European Union, we must go hand in hand with efforts to ensure that our trading partners, including Taiwan, equally open up and respect international rules and standards. The annual position paper issued by the ECCT is an excellent reference point. European companies often encounter difficulties linked to Taiwan's complex regulatory environment, lengthy administrative procedures, impractical requirements, and unique standards that are not seen anywhere in the world. And we see other problems. For instance, SPC issues for food products, organics, or in the offshore wind sector, where Taiwan imposes localization requirements which are doubtful with WTO rules and may not create a sustainable competitive industry which is in Taiwan's best interest. So we need to find solutions to these problems, these issues together. And we are partners, so we are able to do it. And this will allow us to open a new chapter in our bilateral relations. To conclude, let me quote a Chinese proverb. 患难见真情. A true friend is known in the day of adversity. I'm not saying that that's the day of adversity, but I'm just making the point that we are true friends. We are now witnessing the month of the European Union. It seems that September is the month of Europe in Taiwan. I'm really proud of it. And I'm convinced that the European Union and Taiwan will continue to work together, cross distance, through shared values. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grzegorzewski. Thank you for the kind words and encouragement. Please be seated. Thank you. And of course, let's give a biggest round of applause for Mr. Izzo and Mr. Grzegorzewski for their wonderful pronunciation of Chinese. Thank you. Just 1 second as we prepare the stage. Thank you. Let's welcome Her Excellency Taiwan, President of the Republic of China.
My fellow Taiwanese, Mr. Izzo, Chairman of the European Chamber of Commerce, Taiwan, and Representative Filip, Giuseppe. I've been practicing this name all this afternoon. Did I pronounce it right? Thank you. Head of the European Economic and Trade Office here. And I'm sure there are many representatives of European Union member states here as well. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Initially, I thought this is going to be a very easy dinner. But listening to what these two gentlemen have to say just now, it's not going to be easy. I mean, they have tough issues for us. We deal with that, but not tonight. I believe this is my 5th time attending the Europe Day dinner. I must say I am very happy to be here and to see you all in good spirits and health. And I want to start by thanking Chairman Izzo for his invitation today. And I want to again express my gratitude to Representative Grzegorzewski, the European Union and its member states for supporting Taiwan's inclusion in the World Health Organization. Now, there was some discussion about energy transition here. So my appreciation also goes out to sectors of the EU for their staunch support of Taiwan's renewable energy sector and policies. I see Uzbek there. I understand we were supposed to gather here a few months ago for this dinner, but had to reschedule because of the pandemic. Even though we had to wait a while, I'm still very happy to see you all here, as I know that everyone here has been diligent in your effort to combat the spread of COVID-19. Now, Taiwan has been proactive in containing the pandemic at home and assisting countries around the world to do the same. But I have to apologize that if you told me earlier I would allow expatriates here to send face masks back home. Sorry about that. Now, take the production of face masks, for example. Prior to the outbreak, Taiwan was producing just 1.8 million face masks per day, but by mid-May, we had become the second largest producer of face masks in the world, making more than 20 million masks per day. We realized the importance of self-sufficiency in producing strategic supplies to deal with this health crisis and work quickly to upgrade our production capacity. Now, after production reached our set goal, Taiwan donated more than 51 million masks to more than 80 countries around the world. Now, a large portion of these made in Taiwan masks went to our friends in Europe via RESC-EU and bilateral channels. The EU willingly reciprocated and recently came to Taiwan's aid. Last month, an outbreak of lumpy skin disease was affecting cattle in Jinmen. The EU was quick to provide Taiwan with the necessary vaccines to deal with the outbreak. The vaccine shipment arrived in Kinmen in the nick of time and alleviated many farmers' worries. I must say thank you to you. In addition, Taiwan and the EU are collaborating to develop test kits, vaccines, and treatment for COVID-19, as well as exchange PPE, that is personal protective equipment, and medical supplies. These are just a few examples of the solid partnership between Taiwan and the European Union. This year, Taiwan and member states of the EU are facing many challenges brought on by the pandemic. At a critical time, like the one we are faced with now, we have the opportunity to rethink and reorganize international supply chains and economic strategy. Cooperation between Taiwan and the EU could construct supply chains for pandemic prevention materials could be the first step to an even more mutually beneficial partnership. This can also be the beginning of more diversified, resilient supply chains. Taiwan and EU share the core values of democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. So Taiwan should naturally be the EU's trusted partner for economic collaboration. I know this year's Europe Day dinner was originally planned to mark the 70th anniversary of the Schuman's Declaration and to highlight 70 years of economic progress and cooperation between Taiwan and the EU. Now, through the years, the relationship Taiwan and EU share has become increasingly robust. Last year, the European Chamber of Commerce, Taiwan, for the first time had more than 400 institutional members and over 900 individual members. Also last year, our bilateral trade with EU reached a historical high of, as you mentioned, $58.7 billion US. In addition to this, EU investments in Taiwan set a record last year. At the end of June this year, foreign direct investment from the EU reached $57 billion US, marking a 65% jump over the past 5 years. The contributions of so many European businesses in Taiwan are the reason for our excellent progress. Businesses like Carrefour place faith in Taiwan to be the heart of their Asian operation. Companies such as Philips played an important role in the development of Taiwan's electronics industry and helped jumpstart Taiwan's integrated circuit miracle. Recently, companies such as YPT and Erstek have been increasing their investments and expanding operation in Taiwan. In addition, the Yangdaniel Group and the DMET have also been involved in building our offshore wind energy sector. Of course, you do have things to talk to us about, and we'll deal with these issues diligently. I know there are difficult issues for you, like localization requirement, but this is something we ask foreign company to help in order to build a local industry. And in the long term, it's going to be helpful for the European firms as well, because we together can expand the market in this part of the world, and so that we can have built actually a good supply chain here. So there are also 20 British companies who have set up offices here, providing training on all aspects of offshore wind development and construction. Is the UK part of the EU now in this setting? Now, I would like also to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to all the companies, both domestic and foreign, that have been involved in the development of Taiwan's offshore wind energy. We cherish your contribution to the realization of a greener, more sustainable future. While European businesses contributed to Taiwan's economic progress, Taiwan, on the other hand, also contributed to economic development in European countries as well. For example, a number of Taiwanese companies such as Foxconn, ASUS, Acer, and AUO invested in Czech Republic's electronics and ICT sectors, creating 23,000 jobs. In addition, Slovakia is now home to an AUO facility producing LCD equipment. The plant produces large-size LCDs and is AUO's second manufacturing base in Europe. Taiwan's world leader in bicycle manufacturing, Giant, set up its second largest European facility in Hungary in 2018. This came after its first facility in the Netherlands, which was producing 500,000 high-end bicycles each year. Aside from maintaining our steadfast economic ties, Taiwan also welcomed visits from an increasing number of government officials from European countries, delegations and representatives from France, the UK, Denmark, Luxembourg, Belgium, and the Netherlands, just to name a few. All visited Taiwan over the past year. And at this time, we're delighted to welcome the delegation led by Czech Republic's Senate, President Izzo here in Taiwan. During the past 70 years, both Taiwan and Europe have endured hardship and conflict. We have also overcome adversities and weathered the many challenges both politically and on the path to economic integration and development. Now, at this critical juncture, as we enter into a time of uncertainty, I believe that it is now more important than ever for Taiwan and Europe to come together and further our collaboration while contributing to the world. Not only do we have solid economic ties, we are also connected by our shared values. By beginning discussion for a bilateral investment agreement, we can open the door to an even more concrete partnership. In conclusion, let me say this. 2020 has been a year of many challenges. Taiwan and the EU have already overcome many obstacles in this trying time. The future will undoubtedly be positive and prosperous if we work together as partners and friends. I want to once again thank Chairman Izzo, Representative Grzegorzewski, and all the EU member state representatives and partners for your continued friendship and support for Taiwan. And I look forward to the next chapter of the Taiwan-EU partnership and the fantastic achievements we will make together. Lastly, I wish you all happiness and, of course, good health and a wonderful evening. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, President Tai, for this kind words and encouragement. Please remain on the stage and also join President Tai to step one further, just one more further, and we will have a toasting together. I would like to invite everybody to raise your glass